Please do not make the same mistake that I did. I'm about to expose the biggest lie that society has wanted you to believe, and if that belief is not serving you, how to get a different belief, one that supports you more. Because I want you to be unapologetically you, confident in who you are, and unbothered by other people's opinions. For so long, we allow other people's opinions of us, their judgments, and their labels affect how we see ourselves. Maybe you've been told, like, you too fat, you too skinny, you too tall, you should have kids by now, you got too many kids, or you don't have a man, you can't keep a man. And somewhere along the way, you actually believed that lie you were told, and the experiences that you had started validating that belief. And now you feel stuck, you feel unworthy, you're afraid to take up space, and you drown yourself in negative self-talk. But I'm here to tell you that your beliefs should empower you. They should not be restricting you and making you feel like you're less than, like you're stuck. And you shouldn't have to shrink yourself for fear of being too much or offending others, you know? So the first thing I have is to call it out. Like, why are you believing this? You need to identify this lie that is ruining your life, because can't many things be true at one time? So which one is the actual truth? If I could choose between a better truth that makes me feel better and it supports me and where I'm going, then why wouldn't I choose that better truth? Why would I choose to believe that lie? And every time you believe that lie, it's like a mirror that shows up in your life. It'll start validating your experiences. Your experiences will actually be mirrored in your life based on the belief system that you have here in your mind. What are you accepting as truth? What proof do you have? Is there any evidence? And what are you making that mean about yourself? Because if you are having a certain belief, first of all, that's not serving you, and then you making it mean something, you're giving it a whole definition, like you're giving life to a whole entity that is just built on a lie. The second thing, you need to question this. You need to see if you can trace back the origin of this bold-faced lie. Who told you this? I remember in high school, in my yearbook, you know how people would write in the yearbook and we would say stuff like stay cool, or, you know, I don't know, just stuff that we wrote back in the late 90s and early 2000s, if you're around my age. But I remember so many people wrote in my yearbook. You know how you just pass the yearbook around and then you sign it and then you go back and read it later. So many people said, when I first met you, I thought you were stuck up, but you turned out to be so cool. And I remember after seeing that multiple times, like, at first I thought you were stuck up. At first I thought you were, I was like, it made me start questioning myself, like, what is it about me that's giving stuck up? And I started defining myself based on that. And because of that, I started shrinking myself because I didn't want to appear stuck up, right? And so that was something that I really had to deal with, and I wanted to not be too much because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to fit in with the crowd, and I made that mean something about me that wasn't even true. Was I stuck up? And then guess what? I started attracting experiences that reflected that. Guys I would meet, they'd be like, oh no, she too stuck up. She thinks she all that. And guess what? It validated my belief system. Going back to the original question, who told you this? Why did you choose to believe it? Did you hear this multiple times? Because I seen that multiple times in my yearbook, and that became a belief, because a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking, right? And what experiences made that feel true? And like I mentioned, I would meet people and they'd be like, she's stuck up, she's bougie, she's this, she's that. And again, I started changing who I was to fit into a mold of what people thought I should be, not who I truly was. The last thing is you need to reframe it. You need to change the story on your beliefs. If a belief is not supporting you, it is simply holding you back. What if we could change the story to a belief that supports us better? For example, in my case, believing that I was stuck up, what if I had the belief that everybody has the right to their opinion? What if I had the belief that I get to define how I perceive myself? And I have the belief that my opinion of myself is the only one that matters. For too long, we allow the opinions and the voices of other people affect who we are and affect how we show up, especially as women. And it also affects how we see ourselves. And these things stick to you like glue and hold you back from the amazing person that you really are. And your worth doesn't come from what other people say about you, doesn't come from what you do, how many kids you have, if you've been married, if you are divorced. It doesn't matter. Like, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is how you see yourself. And you have to begin to see yourself in a different light, because if you don't, life is simply going to reflect back to you the belief that you have of yourself. So in here is going to be affected out there. Just imagine if you look at yourself in the mirror and my hair is like this, right? But say if I put my hair in a ponytail on the top of my head up here, right? I look in the mirror and I'm like, I hate my hair. My hair is stupid. I hate this ponytail on top of my head because somebody told me that people should not wear ponytails on top of their head. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's reflecting back to me. So why would I get mad at the mirror? We get mad at the mirror when instead we can change ourselves. We can change from the inside. What if I just took that ponytail out and changed my hair to a different style? Then that mirror would be reflecting something back different, right? I would have a different reflection. I'm saying all that to say you have to change yourself from the inside. You have to affirm yourself. You have to tell yourself a different story. I don't care what that story is, but make sure it's a story that supports you. And you have to tell that story over and over again. The same way those old stories, those old tapes and scripts were planted in your head as seeds and watered. They've been watered so much. You have to start planting a different seed if you want to see a different crop. For example, if you hate tomatoes and you love corn, and every time you think a negative thought about yourself based on what somebody else said, that's a tomato seed. And so again, with the hair example, I hate my hair, it's stupid, it's dumb. They said I shouldn't wear my hair like this. Society says I'm too fat. Society says I'm too tall. I'm too black, I'm too light. Like, those are all tomato seeds. And you cannot get mad when you got a whole tomato vine, because that's what you've been planting. If you want corn, the corn that you like, if you want corn, you have to intentionally, continually plant that seed. And you're not going to see the harvest on the same day that you planted. And you cannot go back and be checking on the progress of the corn, just waiting to see something sprout. You have to just keep planting, keep planting, keep planting. And you have to know that one day you will see corn. One day your belief will be changed, because again, a belief is simply a thought that you keep thinking repetitively, and it has gained momentum, and that thing is rolling downhill and rolling fast, okay? And so in order to go in a different direction, you have to slow down that momentum by intentionally planting seeds. What's that look like? That looks like, again, changing the story. That looks like affirming yourself and doing that with emotion and actually feeling that. I don't care if you have to keep telling, you have to tell yourself a different story until you believe it, until you feel it. It's time to stop shrinking. It's time to stop allowing society to determine our worth and how we feel about ourselves. And it's time to start showing up as the powerful person you are. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what your story is. You have the power to change it. I'm Jewel, and I'm reminding you of the gem you are.